Well, hey guys, this is Thorzax coming at you here, and I wanted to do a little bit of a product review. I don't know if it's really a product review or not. It's new to me, I'll tell you that right now. Um, Throughout the years of match shooting, I've loaded thousands and thousands of rifle rounds. 308, 06, 223. And after about the fourth firing, you start getting case neck splits and things like that. Actually, once you get past about the third, fourth firing, your accuracy starts to drop off. Part of that reason is because of, annealing your brass. Annealing brass is a chore. It's kind of like a hit or miss sort of thing. You can actually get into discussions that just go on and on and on and on about the different heats and all that. Anyway, so last year I got a hold of the people here at Annealeez, and this right here is the Annealeez Machine. It is a automated brass annealer. Now, this is an indulgence. This is something that not everybody's just going to go out and buy, and it's rather expensive. Now, if you shoot a lot of high power, I would suggest you buy one of these. I always wanted one because, well, it makes your brass turn out a lot better, and it just works really nice. So anyway, what does it come with? Well, the thing is though, when you get it, it comes with complete instructions. How to turn it on, how to hook up the power supply, that sort of thing. It comes with your power supply here. It's just like the one that you have for your computer, for charging your battery or whatever. And anyway, the main thing is when you set this thing up, is that you want to be able to set this thing up so where the flame that is coming out of your torch here, okay, is concentrated on the neck of your brass. Also, there's another thing too. You do not want to turn the necks of your brass cherry red. That's a no-no. You don't want to do that. You want to leave it in there to the point where it is just right on the verge. Just right on the verge. What happens is when you heat the neck of the brass up that much and it gets cherry red, well, you cook out, the alloy that's inside the brass that, is part of its composition, and then you end up ruining the brass. So it's been just sort of like a rule of thumb with the people with Annealeez, is that when you set up your speed control, right here, this is your speed control, you set up your speed control so that these wheels will turn, and when these wheels turn, your brass will sit in here. Okay, and it'll sit in here for a certain amount of time for this to pick itself back up and drop itself back off into the hopper. I have timed this so where it's just a little past 5 seconds. 5 seconds is good enough that gets the brass hot enough and it anneals the brass. Now I'm going to tell you, once you clean your brass and you deprime it and the whole 9 yards, and you run it through your Annealeez machine, when you go back down and you go ahead and you resize that brass, you'd be really super surprised how easily that brass goes through your resizing die. It's just amazing. I mean, it really does do what it's supposed to do. It returns the brass to its to its original state when it was new. It'll extend the brass life, and it'll stop your case necks from splitting. And what it does is that, since we work our brass, it hardens the brass, and then the brass becomes brittle, and then it cracks under pressure. And like I said, 3, 4, 5 firings, and you've got splits in your neck or that sort of thing, or your neck tensions are all different. Okay, all right. At least with this thing, once you return the brass back down to its original state when it was brand new, your neck tensions are going to be all the same. So it really does have a benefit to it as well. Now, this unit, I believe I paid $225 for it. And, like I said, it's an indulgence. It's not something everybody's going to buy. But say like, for instance, you guys that say like form an awful lot of, 300 blackout, or 6.5 Grendel, or any of those that you can take a parent case, and cut it, and then run it through a die to form the neck. This right here is just a boon. I mean, this thing right here is the ticket. This is the way to do that. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I've got some brass cleaning right now. I'm going to go ahead and break that brass out, get it all sorted out, and then we're going to load the machine up, and I'm going to show you how this thing works, okay? So stay tuned. I'll be right back. So, see you guys in a bit. Well, hey guys, I'm back. The Annealeez Machine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this up, and I'm going to show you how it works. And so in order to do so, now I already have it already plugged into the power supply, okay? And then you have a power switch off here to the side. That's your power switch, all right? You have a speed control here, and this speed control, what it does is it controls the speed of these drums. Now, as you can see, these drums have cutouts in them so that the brass can be picked up and then dropped into these cutouts and dispensed on these wheels. And these wheels turn, which turns the brass, and the brass turns while the torch is on it. So anyway, what we're going to do, going to hook up our propane bottle. This is just your standard, propane. You buy it, down there at the store or whatever. And we'll get her going here. Now, one of the things you want to do about propane is you don't want to have propane laying on its side. Okay, so when you it's got a on and off valve here. What we'll do is we'll charge it. Okay, all right, and we'll just set it on the floor, straight up and down. Okay, you just set it on the floor straight up and down. You don't lay it down behind the machine. You don't do anything like that. You just plain out and simple. And what that does is that keeps impurities that is in the propane itself from coming out in the flame. And then the flame has these little chutes and arcs of different colors of gases. And all you're getting is the mixture of the propane, and that's all you want. That's all you want. So, anyway, so let's get this going, all right? Now, today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be annealing some 308 brass. This right here is some old match brass that I had. This has been fired 5 times. I just got done cleaning it, and so what we'll do is we'll set her in there like that. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn our flame on and light our flame off. And what you want to do is you want to adjust this flame, okay, so that the tip of the blue flame is concentrated right on the neck. And you want to adjust your speed control a little bit, okay, so that it doesn't spend too much time in there. So here we go. We'll go ahead and we'll try our first one. And here we go. Now, as you can see, it's in the little rig right there, and it'll dispense it right out the bottom, just like that. So let's go ahead and we'll turn this off for right now. And we'll take a look, as soon as this cools down, we'll take a look at the brass, and I'll show you exactly what I meant. Just remember, you don't want that neck to turn cherry red. If it turns cherry red, it's in the flame too long. And what you're doing is you're ruining your brass. You're actually cooking out the alloy that's in the brass. So here you go. As you can see, you got that discoloration that comes down. You know, you see a lot of this on military ammunition that you buy, because now I could throw that back in my Thumbler's tumbler and just go ahead and polish this, and that'll polish it back out, and that won't be there anymore. But it doesn't hurt anything. It's just a discoloration. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how this thing can really get going. So I'm going to go ahead and load the hopper up. This right here is the hopper, and we'll load it up. Holds 100 rounds, and we'll get going on this, and I'll show you how it goes. All right. So I'll be right back. I'm just going to go ahead and load up the hopper. You guys don't need to watch that. Okay, guys. As you can see, we got the hopper all loaded up. All right, and we got our torch already ready to go. We got our little collection hopper down here. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to let this thing go. So, let's go ahead and torch her off. Alright. And there we go. Every bit of this is automatic. Comes down, drops it off, spins around. Gets right back into the thing in here. I might have too much in the hopper here, so we'll jigger them around a little bit, see if we can get things going. There we go. Alright. And as you can see, you know, I mean, it spins the brass around, gets it all over, you know, all the sides there. And there it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this down just a little bit to accommodate the flame, to adjust the flame a little. So do not want those to get too hot. You start getting that cherry red, and that's when things start going bad for you. That's about where you want it. Now this will also make your brass, like I said, your brass will last a lot longer. You know, you'll get several firings out of them. You're returning the neck tensions back to, you know, the original, you know, when it was brand new. I mean, it has a lot of benefits to it. But I wouldn't recommend anybody just go ahead and just sporadically, you know, at a whim, just go ahead and buying this thing just so they can, you know, do their necks on their 308, you know. If you know, you have multiple calibers, say like you got, you know, 30-06, 308, 223, 300 blackout, like I said earlier, 6.5 Grendel. Say for instance you're gonna, you know, make some brass. You're gonna make some brass by using a parent case and cutting the cases and that sort of thing, and you want to anneal the ends of the cases. This thing it'll do it for you. You know, it's quite a nice machine. Now, Annealeez, if you go online, you'll see that Annealeez is has a, you know, they have a lot of videos out there, you know, showing, you know, different uses and, you know, that sort of thing. There are people that, you know, they'll paint a temperature, you know, sensitive fluid on these, and that's how they get their, you know, temperature just right. But it seems that the major consensus is you just don't want the brass to get too hot, so where it gets, you know, gets cherry red. You don't want that. You want it right on the verge of where it's going to get into that area there. Just right on the verge. And it takes a little adjusting of the flame, you know, to do so. But, you know, right on the tip of that flame is where it's the hottest. And man, I'll tell you what, you don't want to reach in there and grab them. They are hot, hot, hot. A little bit of fortune cookies advice there. When these are hot, they're hot all the time. Just remember that. You know, this is not something you just necessarily want to just walk away from, you know. You know, let it do its thing. I timed it once before, and it takes about 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes to do 100 rounds. But once you do them, I mean, you don't have to do this for another 4 reloadings. You know, 3 or 4 reloadings. So anyway, this is my demonstration. Now I know the people at Annealeez, for instance. Now, if you have any questions, all you do is just give them a call. Great people. You get real good correspondence. Here's their card. You know, they'll send you a couple of cards. It's got their phone number and their address on it. And you just call them up and, you know, they'll answer whatever questions you have. If you need any replacement parts, or say for instance, now there's different size wheels to accommodate, you know, different sizes of brass. Say like you have a custom chamber like a 338 350, okay, which is your 350 Remington Magnum. You may want to go ahead and get a set of wheels that'll accommodate that that particular round, you know. So far, I'm really happy with it, you know. Does a good job. Like I said, you can't even tell this from M80 brass, you know. Like I said, there you go, you know. So anyway, guys, about all talked out. Like I said, you can go ahead and call Annealeez, and you know, you can go on YouTube. There's lots of different links out there for people that, you know, demonstrate this product. It's best if you buy one of these to do your research on annealing and you know, go through that. There's a lot of guys that, you know, try to save money and they go ahead and they, you know, rig up a drill, you know, that sort of thing, you know, with one of those Lee cutter heads, you know, you use for case cutting, and they spin it in the flame on a torch that's sitting on a, you know, just sitting on a bench, and it's just not the same. You know, you're just not getting the same deal, you know. And plus you have to take it out, put it back in, take it out, put it back in. This right here, you don't have to do anything. You just load the hopper and let her go. I mean, this is great. Like I said, you know, here we are, we're cruising right along, and let's see. Pretty cool. One thing that's nice about this is that, see, once you do this, you know, you don't have to do it again for a while. Also, you know, neck tension has something to do with accuracy. I mean, if you have consistent neck tension, you'll have consistent accuracy, and that's one thing that this thing is doing. Is that it's making sure that you get your proper neck tension, and especially if you play around with expander ball sizes. If you play around with different sizes and thousands, you know, for that neck tension, This right here is just a boom. This is just like almost a necessary piece of equipment to do that. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with it. So, anyway, this is Thor's axe, and I wanted to demonstrate to you my Annealeez machine. You know, if you can afford to get one, and you can justify, you know, having one, you know, with the amount of brass that you do, I suggest you get one. You do a lot of 223, you know, you do a lot of 308, you shoot a lot of service rifle, or even if you know, shoot Palma or match rifle. I mean, this right here, it's the ticket, it's the thing to get. So anyway, this is Thor's axe. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sign out, and until next time, guys, good shooting to you.